Before making your connection, nest your splice tube set as such: the inner black, the red insulating tubes, the black shielding tube, and the black jacketing tube over the cable. With the connection made, wrap the stress control sealant evenly, filling the voids in the cable. Apply at least 2 lapped layers of sealant across the connector, making a diameter slightly larger than the cable insulation, and also overlap the insulation by 1/4 inch on both sides. Now apply on both sides of the semicon cutback edge 3 or 4 thin layers of sealant. Center the inner black tube as shown. Begin shrinking the tube with your torch, starting in the center and working towards the ends. Be sure to get even heat all of the way around the tube. Shrinking is complete when the tube is tight onto the core with no flat spots or ridges. The next step is to center the innermost red tube over the installed black tube. Begin shrinking the tube in the center and working your way towards the end with even heat as you had done previously. Do not point the flame directly at the cable semicon. Center the second red tube and repeat the process, shrinking this tube over the first. Remove the backing and apply 2 or 3 layers of the 1-inch red sealant strip. Place it at both ends onto the area where the semicon is butted up against the first installed black tube. Slide the next tube to the center, which is the black conductive shielding tube. Apply heat to the center and work your way to the ends as you had done in the past, making sure that you have a nice tight fit around the cable connection. To install the ground, position the solder block over the cable jacket. Wrap 2 layers of the spring clamp over the braid and around the cable shield as close to the splice tube as possible. Fold the braid back over the spring and metallic shield and wrap the remaining layers. Twist the spring clamp to tighten and secure with copper foil tape. Bend the grounding braid across the cable splice to the opposite side. Wrap the spring clamp and the copper tape around this end as demonstrated before on the other end. The next step in improving the grounding of this connection is to wrap 1/2 lapped layer of the tinned copper mesh across the joint and tie it off on the other side. On both ends of the cable splice, clean the cable jacket for 4 inches. Then make 1 wrap of the 2-inch wide red sealant around the cable jacket directly under the solder block, and make 2 more wraps over it. The final step is to center the large black tube over the joint. Ensure that the tube overlaps the sealant evenly on each end. Begin shrinking the tube in the center and work your way towards the ends. Heat all around the tube until it is shrunk down tight. Shrinking is complete when the sleeve conforms to the underlying layers with no flat spots or ridges. Allow the joint to cool to the touch before moving, backfilling, or placing into service. An alternate covering over the splice is a railed wraparound rejacketing sleeve. Place the black shrink wrap jacket over the center of your connection. Slide from each end the metal rails into the jacket's tracks. Place the small clip in the center, bridging both large left and right rails. And finally, as you have done before, gently heat from the center with your torch and shrink the tubing around the splice, working your way towards the end. Allow the joint to cool to the touch before moving, backfilling, or placing it into service. The installation is now complete. And remember, a good shrink seal will have the glue oozing out of it a bit on the ends.